Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, Jay Jones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 361. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today, we're going to talk about the 17 best pieces of advice for entrepreneurs, what my current self would tell my younger self. 17 best pieces of advice for entrepreneurs, what my current self would tell my younger self. Now, there's no value that you can put on experience, family. And over my 20 plus years as a serial entrepreneur, starting over 17 businesses, having gone from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, almost losing it all twice, and also building two separate multi-million-dollar businesses, I've seen a whole lot and I've been blessed to experience it. And if I knew these 17 things that I'm going to talk about today, if I knew these when I just started, man, I'd have exponential growth, and y'all probably wouldn't even be listening to me right now because I'd probably be on some island somewhere swinging in a hammock. But once again, that all comes from experience. So what we're going to talk about today, guys, is some of the things that I wish I knew back then that I know today. And once again, it all comes from experience, not theory, guys, but practical application. Now, before we get to today's show, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and my resource links, such as the link to my new book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful eCommerce Businesses. Also, two platforms I've created to help circulate those dollars in the Black community, BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com. I also want to mention my new rebranded, rebooted BEB Academy, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Academy, where I have the majority of my courses, trainings, webinars, and everything behind the BEB Academy wall. Now, you can get 5 days free access to everything inside the academy. Just go to BEBacademy.com and you'll get 5 days free access. You get the opportunity to try before you buy. Now, let's get ready for today's show. Once again, we're going to talk about 17 best pieces of advice for entrepreneurs, what my current self would tell my younger self. This episode came about by talking to one of my young mentees, and I was laughing and we were having a good time, and I was telling them about how many mistakes that I made when I started on my journey for entrepreneurship. And we kind of talked about some of the things that I would do different or some advice that I wish somebody would have given me. So this is the impetus of today's show. And once again, as I said in the opening, guys, all of this comes from experience. It's not anything you can read in a book. It's not anything you can watch on TV or whatever in a documentary. It all comes from experience. Okay, so we're going to start off with number one, and it is, what is your why? You want to identify why you're becoming an entrepreneur. Many times it's because of money, and I get that, but you probably need to have something a little bit deeper. What does the money mean to you? Does it mean freedom? Does it mean or give you the ability to live at another lifestyle? What does it really mean to you? So the first thing that probably comes into everybody's head is money. I want to be an entrepreneur. My why is because I want to earn money. But what does that money represent? what does that money get you? So what is your why? You know, one of the things that I always talked about, my why was obviously money, but what I wanted money to do for me was to give me freedom and flexibility to work on projects and things that I had interest in and that I thought were valuable. So question number one, or one of the biggest pieces of advice, is determine what is your why. Why are you becoming an entrepreneur? Because it is not an easy road. Trust me. It is not an easy road, and you're going to go through ups and downs, but determine what is your why. Second piece of advice is understand you won't have all the answers. A lot of times as entrepreneurs or prospective entrepreneurs, we think that we have to have all the answers. We need to know everything before we proceed, and that's not right. You see, entrepreneurship is a continuous learning process, and the know-how comes from doing. So you do not have to understand or have all the answers. You're never going to have all the answers because the learning never stops. And so what I teach to my coaching students and my mentees is that when you stop learning, you're going backwards. There's no such thing as standing still, guys. You're either moving forward or you're falling behind. So you always have to understand that you won't have all the answers, and you will never have 100% of the answers. That's just part of a learning process. As you continue to elevate in your business, you're going to need to learn more, and you're going to have to experience more. Okay? So once again, know-how comes from doing, and you have to understand that you're not going to have all the answers. And once again, I'm going to give the example that I always give about knowledge and know-how. And remember, not everybody has heard this before. So if you're a first-time listener, you're going to hear this, and you'll probably hear this again if you continue to stay tuned to the podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast if you're a first-time listener. But I always give the example of the difference between knowledge and know-how. Knowledge can be acquired by watching television, reading a book, looking at a documentary, observing somebody doing something, and there's all types of ways to get knowledge. So people always use the quotation, knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. Know-how is power. Know-how means knowing how to do something. So if somebody gave you a flight manual for an F-15 fighter jet, told you to read the manual, go watch these videos, and then they put you in the cockpit of that F-15 fighter, would you know how to fly that plane? And the answer is no. So know-how comes from experience, and knowledge can be acquired just by observing or watching things or reading things. So once again, understand you will never have all the answers as an entrepreneur because it's an ongoing learning process. Number 3, you have to follow your dreams and vision because those dreams and visions were given to you, not anybody else. You have to follow your dreams and your visions, once again, because those dreams and visions were given to you, not anybody else. So a lot of times when you start to ask people if they buy into your dreams, those dreams weren't given to them. Those dreams are given to you. And so everybody, whoever you believe your God force is, or if you believe there's a God force, those dreams and passions and desires are built in you. So that's why some people know from an early age that they want to be a certain type of profession. They want to be a doctor, a lawyer. They want to be a scientist or whatever. So your dreams and your visions are yours. So when you share those dreams and visions with other people, don't expect them to buy into them. And that's one of the problems I think that many prospective and young entrepreneurs have. You're so excited about your dreams and visions, and then you share those with others, and they don't have the same excitement. What you have to understand is they're not supposed to have the same excitement because those dreams and visions are specifically for you. Number 4, you need to be strategic as you pursue your dreams. And so when you have this idea and these are your dreams and your visions, you have to be strategic in the way that you attack or approach them. And you also have to consider the people that this will affect on your journey. And you try to prepare them as much as possible by setting realistic expectations. So if you are married, if you have a partner, and that partner is going to go on this journey with you, you need to be strategic and understand what their expectations are and what your expectations are. And you need to create realistic expectations. So going on this entrepreneurial journey, there's nothing guaranteed. So when you say to your partner or spouse or whoever, hey, within a year, I should be making this much money. It's okay if I leave my job because I'm going to do this, this, and that. Trust me, been there, done that. You can't make any guarantees. The only guarantee that you can make to your spouse or partner is I'm going to do the best that I can do and I'm going to work my butt off. So you need to be strategic in how you make that transition or that move. So if that means that you're going to have to work a part-time job while you start your business, it could also mean that you still keep your full-time job and start your business part-time, or you save up enough money where you have a long enough runway that's going to enable you to focus 100% on your business. But you need to be strategic as you pursue your dreams and consider the people that your dream was going to affect. Now, we hope that it affects them positively in the future, but it may have an initial negative impact due to the fact that you may not be making enough money. All right. And what we're talking about today, guys, is 17 best pieces of advice for entrepreneurs, what my current self would tell my younger self. Now, number 5, this is something that all successful entrepreneurs do or don't do, is don't quit. So you have to have that mental fortitude, that stick-to-itiveness, and the belief in yourself. Okay, see, the outcome actually exceeds the struggle when you become successful. Let me repeat that. The outcome exceeds the struggle when you become successful. So if you quit during that struggle, then the outcome will not exceed the struggle. And that's what happens to a lot of us. We end up quitting. We think it's easy. And I'm going to tell you guys, for real, if I didn't know anything right now and I'm jumping out there to be an entrepreneur, there's so much content out there, good, bad, and indifferent, that it's so confusing. So lock into something that you believe in, be it Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Podcast, whatever it is, and stick to those sources or resources that you feel that are best for you, because it's tough out there to be successful as an entrepreneur. And the only way to become successful, guys, is you don't quit. All right. So once again, you got to have that mental fortitude. When it looks like it's all over, guess what? It ain't over till I say it's over. You got to keep pushing, because I'm not suggesting that there's going to be struggles. I'm telling you that there are going to be struggles. And that's not just for young businesses. That can be for experienced business owners too. Things happen. We just had this COVID, right? You could have been rocking in your business 10 years strong, doing millions of dollars. COVID hits, and now you're back to square one. But you can't quit, all right? So number 5, don't quit. Next piece of advice, number 6. If you don't hear nothing I say today, family, I'm telling you right now, build your platform. Build your platform and recognize and understand these things about a platform, okay? And I'll talk about this real quick. It's going to take a while for you to build your platform, okay? But the platform is going to provide you with unlimited monetization opportunities, and you're building a foundation that can provide stability and wealth for generations, okay? So those that don't have a platform will one day wish that they did. Trust me. In the long run, you're going to wish you had a platform. What is a platform? A platform is a way that you consistently communicate with your audience. So a platform could be a podcast like Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. It could be a YouTube channel. It could be a blog. It could be a newsletter. It could be a magazine. But it's a way to communicate consistently with your audience. Okay, now, I always talk about owning the platform. You can't own YouTube, right? You can't own social media, right? So you always want to make sure that you gather email data, your email data. So leverage social media and all these other platforms, but you want to build your database so you can control the communication. So if you have an Instagram following and now you got 1 million people on Instagram, and for some reason you break the terms of service with Instagram, and guess what? They shut you down. Now you don't have a platform because you don't control Instagram. You don't control Facebook. You don't control Twitter. You don't control YouTube. Okay? So once again, build your own platform. And there's only really 3 ways to communicate: video, audio, and written. So if you're big on video, you want to build your platform on video. Granted, I know you got to go on YouTube, but make sure that you get that email database built up in case YouTube shuts you down. Now you can put your videos on your own site. If you like to talk, podcasting. If it's easier for you to communicate that way, you can create a podcast. And the other way, obviously, is writing, and writing can come in the form of, blogs, newsletters, or whatever, magazines, whatever you want to do. But you need to build your platform. The monetization aspects of building a platform are ridiculous. So anytime you advertise on social media or any other platform, guess what? The reason that you're doing that is because you don't have your own platform. Not that even if you have your own platform, not that you wouldn't advertise other places, but it's not a necessity. So if you are in the cannabis business, right? Everybody knows High Times magazine, which is probably one of the preeminent industry or trade magazines for people in the cannabis business that like to smoke it and are also in the business. So if High Times did an article on you, that would be a big windfall for you because you get a lot of notoriety. What happens if you created a newsletter or a magazine that was similar to High Times? You had all types of content, and now you control that platform. People don't have to know you own the magazine. And I'm just using this as an example because this is similar to one of my BEB family members had an issue similar to this. But being able to control your own platform where nobody can kick you off. Okay, when you build a business on that, it's like building on sand versus building on a solid rock or solid foundation. All right, and today, family, we're talking about 17 pieces of advice for entrepreneurs, what my current self would tell my younger self. And that was number 6, build your platform. Now, it's funny, when my daughters were younger, I used to tell them, they want to say, hey, Dad, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'm like, look, that's not going to turn out good. I can tell you right now. All right. But if it wasn't something that was, going to harm them too bad, sometime I'd be like, all right, go ahead and bump your head. But I told you so. And so I used to use the example of in our kitchen, we have a pantry. And I said, when you look at that pantry door, what do you see? Dad, we see the door, Dad. Okay, cool. I said, when I look at that pantry door, I actually see what's behind the pantry. Well, what are you talking about? I said, it's experience. Because based on the things that you're telling me, this is what's going to happen. And sure enough, 90% of the time, the things that I told them were going to happen ended up happening. And it's not because I'm some psychic or some guru, but it's from experience. And so what I'm telling you guys right now is from experience. If you don't build a platform, I'm not saying you can't be successful, but I would take the time to build a platform. In 5 years, God willing, you're still going to be here, right? Building your platform now, if you started today and you start monetizing that platform, I guarantee you with affiliate products, your products, services, or whatever, then I'm telling you in 5 years, you're not going to even worry about money because you're talking to an audience that wants the products and or services that are aligned with whatever your platform is. So Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, for example, it's for Black entrepreneurs. So the products and services that are affiliated, be it my books, my courses, my trainings, my workshops, or whatever, they are synergistic and they're aligned with the audience. And so the reason I bring out different products and services is because I listen to the BEB family. Hey, man, I want to learn more about this. I want to learn more about that. And so all I'm doing is serving my audience what they want because I've built a platform over 6.5 years with the podcast. Now, you can go back and listen to probably about 2 months ago, I did 2 episodes on building a platform. And it's something it's not hard, but it doesn't happen overnight. So number 6 piece of advice, build your platform. Number 7, and this is something I had to learn the hard way. Everybody who starts with you isn't meant to finish with you. Everybody that starts with you isn't meant to finish with you. And that's in business and in life. All right. Everybody who starts with you isn't meant to finish with you. So the Bible talks about seasons. There's seasons for everything. And there are actually even seasons for people. Sometimes people can only be with you for a certain season. And as you move on to another season in your life and in your business, those people aren't supposed to be around. And unfortunately, sometimes that could even include family members. So remember, everybody who starts with you isn't meant to finish with you. So if you have business partners or if you started a business together with somebody, you may be on the same page and be equally yoked and aligned when you start. But as you continue to move forward and you're looking to do one thing and they're looking to do something else, it may be a point in time where you have to part ways. So number 7, everybody who starts with you isn't meant to finish with you. And it's not necessarily a knock. If you have to cut somebody loose, be it on the business tip or in life in general, there's ways to do it. Okay. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it. Okay. So understand that. You may have a partner that you started with. Man, I can't leave dude behind because we started this thing together. But guess what? If you're not equally yoked and you're not aligned and they're not pulling their weight, this is business. This isn't games. This is business. This is your livelihood. So that's number 7. Best piece of advice, number 8. Align yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs. Align yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs. And I'm telling y'all right now, and I'm going to use the term civilian. And when I use that term civilian, I'm meaning somebody that's not an entrepreneur, never thought about being an entrepreneur, and is going to work the 9 to 5. And there's nothing wrong with that because not everybody is built for this game, right? So align yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs and don't lean on civilians for advice about entrepreneurship because for real, guys, we speak 2 different languages. We speak 2 totally different languages. So when you're talking about your visions, your dreams, what this can be, and you're talking to somebody that has no understanding, no concept, and doesn't even want to know about what you're talking about, and you're asking them for advice, that's the wrong thing to do. So you want to align yourself with a group of like-minded entrepreneurs so you can bounce things off of. They understand what you're going through. Okay. They know the trials and tribulations. And once again, that's why I always think it's great to have mentors. So somebody that's several steps ahead of you. So if you're looking for somebody to mentor you in a certain field, that person doesn't have to be the quote unquote top guru, but as long as they're 10 steps ahead of you, they can help you. They can be your mentor. All right. So number 8, align yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs and don't lean on civilians for advice about entrepreneurship. Now, you can lean on civilians about advice about life and other things, but when it comes to entrepreneurship, come on, man. I used to talk to my wife, and even today, I don't even do it as much now because we've been married so long, we kind of understand each other. But I may tell her things just to keep her in the loop. But in terms of advice and asking her, her advice on my moves that I'm going to make and things of that nature, I rarely do that at all because I know she's not even in that space and we're speaking a different language. Give you a perfect example of this too. So you guys know I'm coming out. I got this new hot sauce out. Excuse me. And right now I'm working to get it into retail. And so I finally got my countertop point of purchase displays for my mini bottles. So, if you're in a convenience store and, you're buying food or whatever, hopefully I'm trying to get these. I'm working with some C-stores, convenience stores to get these on countertops, on the way out when you check out. And she was like, well, how's it going? What are you waiting for? And I'm like, first of all, I got to get all my certifications in. I have to make sure that I get all of my, barcodes and SKUs, which I've already had those, but I have to make sure everything is in place. And I need to make sure that when I get orders that I'm able to fulfill the orders. So it's not ready, ready, fire, aim. It's ready, aim, fire. So you want to make sure that all the ducks are in a row, but all she sees is this product sitting in my office and all of these nice point of purchase displays and all of that, but she doesn't understand what the process is to keep this thing rocking. Okay. So once again, align yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs and don't lean on civilians for advice when it comes to entrepreneurship. Number 9, don't be afraid to try new business ideas. Don't be afraid to try new business ideas. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is one of the things that I see that stops a lot of new entrepreneurs. So I always talk about testing, right? Test, and test some more. But you test in a way that you're not going to expend all of your resources or your time. What you want to do is you want to find out if this business is even viable, okay? So you want to discount any idea as fast as you can so you can move forward. So number 9, don't be afraid to try different business ideas. And I think people get locked in, super locked in early on. And I know you have a concept, you have a business idea, but people get locked in and they're in love with the concept or idea and they get locked into that and sometimes they can't move off of it. And I get it because your new business is like your baby. So you want to make sure that that baby thrives and continues to move forward. But you need to be able to try different business ideas. I'll give you a real simple example here. And this is something that, I've been working on. So my wife and kids, they use sea moss, right? So I said, all right, man, this sea moss is selling like crazy, man. Let me see what's up with it. So I didn't go and spend a whole lot of money, right, to test this out. What I did was I found a manufacturer, ended up getting dried sea moss, which to me is actually better than the wet sea moss because it actually will create more volume because it's dried. So something dried, if I had 2 t-shirts, one wet and one dry, which one is going to weigh more? The wet sea moss. So I had the dry sea moss, which actually gives me more sea moss. I bought 10 kilograms. I bagged it up, created a name for it, and started selling it online, testing it out. Now, how much did that cost me? It cost me shipping. I got it from Vietnam, and I think 10 keys cost me like $300 and something with shipping. I created a landing page and I ran some traffic to it and I started selling it. So that's an easy way to try something, okay? So you don't have to go and create an LLC. I've already got several LLCs. I didn't go trademark the brand name, anything like that, because I had to see if it works. So don't be afraid to try different business ideas. So I'm testing that and it's working well. So I'm actually going to proceed with it. I'm going to get some custom packaging done. All I did on this one was I slapped labels on these bags and I was selling them like that, and it's selling pretty well. So once again, guys, don't be afraid to try different business ideas. That's number 9. Number 10. This is where we have another problem. Once you find proof of concept for your business, stay focused, man. Once you find proof of concept, stay focused. I know with me, my wife and kids talk about I got a little ADD, but I think entrepreneurs have that because when we look at things, we look at them a little different. We look at things as opportunities. Man, how can I capitalize on that? Man, can I make some money doing that? And it's funny, I be doing some research on one business, and before you know it, something catches my eye doing this research, and now I'm over to the left over here researching something else. So I got to pull myself back. And I've been very cognizant of me trying to stay focused, even though I have multiple businesses in all types of different areas. That's how I operate. I'm able to do that because it keeps me from getting bored. And I guess maybe that is a little ADD kicking in right there. But sometimes that can be good. So once again, stay focused. So once you get that proof of concept for your business, stay focused. So I know many times we got all types of business ideas. Oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this. The first thing that you need to do is get proof of concept on one business, and then make sure that that one business is successful, that you're making revenues and that it's profitable. After that, then go ahead and start to be able to look into other businesses. But you have to get something that's going to feed you first before you start trying to do all these other things. And today, family, we're talking about 17 best pieces of advice for entrepreneurs, what my current self would tell my younger entrepreneurial self. All right. So that was number 10. Number 11, try to create an ecosystem. So try to create an ecosystem around your business with synergistic products and services that you can monetize and create additional revenues. So when I talk about an ecosystem, right? Say, for example, I'll give you the example when I was in the mortgage business. So mortgage company, 50 plus employees, multi-million-dollar business, rocking and rolling until the crash of 2008 came in. Almost lost everything for the second time right then. So one of the businesses we created around the mortgage business was a credit repair business. We didn't start out to create a credit repair business, but we found that a lot of our prospective customers didn't have the credit to get approved for a mortgage. So at first we started farming out the credit repair to other companies, and a lot of the companies weren't doing a great job. So since my business partner and I had been in the game for a while, I cleaned up my own credit after I almost lost it all the first time. Same thing with my business partner. We knew how to do credit repair. And so we actually created a credit repair company inside our mortgage business. We hired people, and we had 2 or 3 people at a time working on our credit repair business. Now, in addition to that, we were in the process of looking to buy a RE/MAX franchise. So, okay, we're doing mortgages. All right, we're doing credit repair. Now, let's create another piece of the puzzle. Let's start being able to list and sell homes, because it all was synergistic. We never got to that point because of the crash happened. And, we were really on the precipice of starting a RE/MAX real estate brokerage to go along with our mortgage brokerage and our credit repair company. And if we were rocking, we even thought about creating a title agency. Okay, so for some states, when you close mortgages, you have to use an attorney. Other states, you can use a title agency, and that's where you do your closing. So those would have been synergistic businesses that would create an ecosystem around our primary business. So number 11, piece of advice number 11, try to create an ecosystem if and when it makes sense. Okay. So same thing with Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. I have the book is part of the ecosystem. Be Smart, Buy Black, Hire Black Freelancers. That's part of the ecosystem. Trying to make sure that we circulate dollars in the Black economy. Brand Builder Academy Elite for people who want to buy start e-commerce businesses. You have BEB Academy for people that want to elevate their entrepreneur IQ. All of those are part of the BEB ecosystem. Didn't start out with the concept of any of the other stuff. But as I continue to rock with the BEB podcast, this is what the BEB family was telling me that they needed. So synergistic businesses that work with your current business. So that's building your ecosystem. Piece of advice number 12. Always build or buy assets, even if they don't throw off cash right away. Always build or buy assets, even if they don't throw off cash right away. So when I talk about assets could be a book that you wrote. Assets could be a podcast. Assets could be physical assets. Okay, things of that nature. So, for example, when I wrote A New Black Wall Street, right? I wrote that about 2 years ago. That's an asset. Okay, while I was writing it, I didn't make any money from it, right? But once the book was published, it's an asset. It's an ongoing asset that generates revenue for me. Okay, I just created not long ago my flagship program, pound for pound, my best program for e-commerce, Brand Builder Academy Elite, BBAelite.com. Took me close to three to 4 months to put that program together. That's an asset. And now when people join the program, that's revenue. So I'm building assets. And so once you have enough assets built up, you're going to continue to generate revenue from them. That's just like if you're in the real estate game and you buy and hold properties. Okay, you may buy a property, you might not cash flow on it right away because you got to take the time to fix it up. But once it's fixed up, put on the market and somebody rents it out, that's cash flow. That's an asset that you always are going to have. Now you move on to the next asset, and you're going to do that, and you're going to continue to do that until you start building all kinds of crazy assets, guys. And I did a show the other day about, how to build $1 million business. You don't have to have, one product or service that's going to get you to $1 million, right? You could have 10 different things bringing in $100,000 a year, 10 different assets, and that's still $1 million. And that's why I talked about building that platform, because if you build a platform, it's easy to put those assets onto that platform. So once again, the BEB ecosystem, you got online courses, you got physical books, you got trainings, you got workshops, you got coaching. So those are assets that are attached to the BEB platform. All right. So don't sleep on that. Number 12, always build or buy assets. Piece of advice number 13, try to create a business that you can scale. Try to create a business that you can scale and try to move away from trading hours for dollars. I know sometimes when we start, we have to do that. Hey, I'm in the service business. I'm an accountant. If I don't do these, taxes or whatever, I'm not going to get paid. So once again, we always talk about working on your business, not in your business. Okay. So the E-Myth, Michael Gerber, great book. It's been out for 25 years. Talks about working on your business, not in your business, creating systems. So you never want to trade your hours for dollars. Now, you may have to start out that way, but always look to be able to build a business that you can scale and that can scale without you. Okay. So that was number 13. Number 14, try to work in your genius space. Try to work in your genius space. And once again, guys, your genius is the intersection between your passion and your talent. Now, being able to monetize that is the problem. Okay, so you need to learn how to monetize that. For example, if your passion, right? Say you're passionate about photography. Okay, so you love everything about photography. You're a talented photographer. So you have talent in that space. How do you monetize that? How do you live in your genius? You can create a photo gallery, okay, with all of your work. You can take pictures, wedding pictures, family portraits, whatever. But that's monetizing your genius. If you want to dive deeper, go back to episode number 199, one of the most downloaded episodes that I have, Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius. And I know I've been working on this book, man, for the last year, but it's almost done because every time I think I'm finished, something else comes up. So episode 199, Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius. And you can actually go through a simple 4-quadrant worksheet that you can use any piece of paper and you'll actually be able to find your genius. And then the hardest part is, though, guys, it's the monetization. And I'm going to give you, some game that I've been giving out for years. There's only 6 things that you can sell, 6 type of things that you can sell to monetize anything. Your physical products, your digital products, your services, somebody else's physical products, somebody else's digital products, somebody else's services. So your physical product. So say you wrote a book, you're selling that physical book. Your digital product could be an online course. People access it digitally. Okay. And services. So say you're an accountant, you're selling your accounting services. Now let's look at somebody else's physical product. So say you're buying something from Walmart for cheap and then you're reselling it on Amazon. So arbitrage, right? E-commerce arbitrage. So you're buying somebody else's shampoo for $2 and you're reselling it for $8. Okay. That's selling somebody else's physical products, selling somebody else's digital products, right? So you could actually be selling somebody's ebook and getting a commission, doing an affiliate sale on somebody's online course. That's selling somebody else's digital product, selling somebody else's services. I used to have a part of my business where I would get leads. I would sell leads for law firms. So I'd be selling law services. I'm not a lawyer, but I would be selling those services for those attorneys. So once again, guys, in terms of being able to pinpoint and monetize your genius. And once again, the genius is the intersection between your passion and your talent. And let me just put it simply in three sentences. Do what you love, do what you're good at, and do something people will pay you for. If you can intersect those three, then you're going to be able to monetize your genius. Okay. Number 15, learn how to create passive or semi-passive income. So I don't know if there's truly anything that's totally passive. Well, you can invest in stock market and things of that nature. You're going to need to keep your eye on your investments. You just can't go to sleep and think everything's going to be good. But try to create businesses learn how to create passive income or semi-passive income, number 15. All right. And I talked about, one of my episodes is the freedom equation. Cash flow plus passive income equals freedom. Cash flow plus passive income equals freedom. So you want to do that or create that so you can focus on your passions, right? So one of the issues when people try to pinpoint and monetize their genius, I'm just going to use my oldest daughter, as an example. And I've told this story before, but for people who haven't heard it, it's new to you. For people that have heard it, just bear with me, humor me. So both my girls went to public high schools and got into very good colleges. So my oldest daughter got into and graduated from Duke. And she used to come back to the high school because a lot of her friends, they got into Harvard, University of Pennsylvania, a lot of Ivy League schools, Stanford, MIT. And so coming out of a public school, which, it wasn't super great, but it had all of the, courses and stuff that you need, the high-end courses, I forgot what you call them now, that you need. It had more of them than any other high school in the state. Right. And so she always she was very active in the school. And so the principal asked her to come back during the Christmas break of her freshman year and talk to the students about what you need to do coming out of public school to get accepted in these high-end colleges. And so I told her, she said, you know what, I'm going to talk to a lot of my friends. I'm going to find out what they did. Blah, 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 blah. I said, yeah, that's great. I said, but you need to put that into a book. I said, I guarantee you there's kids coming out of high school every year, right? Their parents want to know, what do these kids have to do to get accepted in these high-end schools? I said, you can get speaking engagements, once again, in high schools. You can sell your book. You can even create an online course, right? But she never did that. And what I was explaining to her was, I know that's not what you want to do, full time for your life. But I said, if you create this, you can create passive income. You can create people buying your books. I said, I'll help you create an online course for parents that want to take this course for their kids or get it for their kids so they can see exactly what the 8 or 9 of you guys have done throughout your high school careers and before, and prior to get accepted in these colleges, these high level colleges. And she never did that. And so one of the things I always tell her, I'm like, look, if you had that passive income, her passion really is to write and tell stories, be it, writing scripts, writing books. She has a very successful blog out there. And I said, that's really what your genius is. But the reason you're working right now in corporate America is, number one, because you got to have income to live. And I can't force this upon people because it has to click. There has to be a point of enlightenment when they finally get it. Okay, Dad, I see what you're saying. Let me create something that passive income, that semi-passive income that's going to give me the freedom equation, family. Cash flow plus passive income equals freedom. Cash flow plus passive income equals freedom. Go ahead and go check it out. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the freedom equation. That's another great episode, one of the most downloaded episodes in here, trying to create that. And what we're talking about today, guys, is 17 pieces of advice for entrepreneurs, what my current self would tell my younger self. All right. And that was number 15. Number 16, keep up with the trends in news to identify opportunities. Keep up with the trends in the news to identify opportunities. Let's be in front of the curve for a change as opposed to being behind the curve. Many times we get in on something after the white folks have already milked it. And then we get in and we're at the tail end. We can't take advantage of it. So we have to be abreast of what's going on. So, for example, when newspapers were out back in the day, I used to read 3 to 4 newspapers a day. Philadelphia Daily News, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, and sometime I read the New York Times. Not every page out of those newspapers, but I would have them and I would scan. So I love to gather information. And so keep up with the latest trends in news. So, for example, I was telling one of my good buddies, electronic vehicles, right? So we all know about cryptocurrency, but a lot of these white folks been in crypto for 10 freaking years when it first came out. Now I'm just using 10 as a number. I'm not exactly sure when it came out. But with electronic vehicles, you got Tesla and a lot of the major manufacturers are going to go all electric by, I think, in like the next 7 or 8 years. So what do you see or what do you think is going to happen? So all of these convenience stores, I just read that 7-Eleven is going to start installing their first 500 electronic charging machines at the 7-Eleven stores. So there's an opportunity there for people to build, though not build necessarily, but actually put in those electronic vehicle charging machines. You can actually buy those for your house, for your electronic vehicle. You can literally go on Alibaba and buy an EV charger, an electronic vehicle charger. Because as people start to get these electronic cars, they're going to have to charge them at home overnight. They're also going to have to be more chargers out there on the road. So when you go to your supermarket, and a lot of places, malls and stuff have them now, but not at the quantity that they're going to need in the future. So that's a burgeoning market. Okay. So if you're going to the supermarket and you're going to be there 30 minutes to an hour, it would be great to have your car charged, right? Yeah, of course. So learn how to get into that market space in other spaces when you're at the forefront of it. Literally, you can start installing EV chargers in people's homes right now. Okay, so be at the forefront and take advantage of what's happening with the trends in the news. And number 17, ask yourself, what legacy do you want to leave as an entrepreneur and a person? And once again, these are 17 pieces of advice, because if you determine and commit to a legacy, that's going to guide you in your entrepreneurial journey and your life journey. Okay. What did you stand for? Who did you serve? So number 17, ask yourself, what legacy do you want to leave as an entrepreneur and as a person? What do you want to do? Who do you want to serve? What did you stand for? Did you stand for anything, or are you just all about making money? But these are questions or pieces of advice that I wish somebody would have imparted to me when I started out as an entrepreneur 20 plus years ago. And it's basically me telling my younger self, these are the things, or these are the pieces of advice that I would give to you as an entrepreneur. So these are 17 things or pieces of advice that I think are some of the best pieces of advice just from me. This is just my perspective. Obviously, there's tons more. And if you ask somebody else, they're going to probably give you 17 different ones. But this is just from my personal experience with the ups, the downs, and being true to the game. So this is what I do. I'm a professional entrepreneur. That's how I make my money. So before we sign off, guys, let me and close out the show. We got about another 10 minutes left. Let me just share all my social media contact information and my resource links, and then we'll close it on out with some takeaways and some other things. First and foremost, guys, I mentioned at the top of the show, my new book is out, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. So if you're interested in building a successful, sustainable e-commerce business, go to anewblackwallstreet.com. Pick yourself up a copy, $14.95 for the print version, $9.95 for the digital version. Now, I also mentioned at the top of the show my flagship program, Brand Builder Academy Elite. If you need additional assistance building your successful, sustainable e-commerce business, go to bbaelite.com. It is a implementation program that takes 15 weeks. So there are 15 modules. After every module, there's things that you have to do, homework. So it takes you from ideation to product or service creation all the way to selling your product and service on your platform and any other platform that's applicable for your product or service. So go to bbaelite.com. And then if you want to sign up, hit BBAElite100 as a coupon code and save $100 off of that. Also, guys, I mentioned at the top of the show, my new rebranded, rebooted Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Academy. Go to bebacademy.com and you can get 5-day free access. And inside the academy, you have all types of trainings, workshops, webinars, online courses, and you can access everything behind the academy for 5 days for free. So try before you buy. See if you like it. You can go in and take a full course or whatever. And if you don't like it, guess what? You can opt out. Okay, so that's bebacademy.com. Also, guys, I mentioned at the top of the show, two basic platforms that I've created to help circulate black dollars in the worldwide black economy. So the first one is besmartbyblack.com. If you are a black product producer that wants to sell your products to black consumers, upload your product information. It's free to besmartbyblack.com and connect with black consumers worldwide that want to buy your product. Now, I didn't forget about you freelancers. So if you do anything on Fiverr.com or freelancer.com, I created a platform for you called HireBlackFreelancers.com, HIRE blackfreelancers.com. Once again, it is free. Upload your information and you can connect with black consumers and black business owners that want to hire black freelancers. All right. So now I know that's a mouthful. You can go to bebconnect.com and all of that information and the links will be there. bebconnect.com. Also, let me guys give you my contact information, social media connects. All right. Anything long, family, hit me on email, jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, JAYJONES@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Facebook, hit me on Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Twitter, you can go to jjones001, JAYJONES001. Instagram, I got 2 accounts, family. My main account is jjones for real. That's JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. YouTube, family, make sure you go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, hit the subscribe button. I have additional content on YouTube that is not on the podcast. Yes, the podcast does come out on YouTube and you can find all the episodes there. LinkedIn, connect with me on LinkedIn. Just go check out J Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, and link up with me on LinkedIn. Also, if you're on Clubhouse, please connect with me on Clubhouse. I'm at I am J Jones, at I am J Jones. Once again, another mouthful, but just go to BEB Connect and you'll have all the links to all of my social media contact information and my resource links. My new website is going to drop soon, so all you're going to have to do is go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com or bebconnect.com, and you're going to be able to access all of the resources on the website, this new revised, updated, hyped up website. So I'm trying to make that the hub for all things black entrepreneur, so you can get all your resources and everything right in one spot. So that's going to be coming soon, and I'm really super excited about that. So before we close on out, guys, today I was talking about 17 best pieces of advice for entrepreneurs, what my current self would tell my younger self. There was a lot of content in there. And if you can't write it down, make sure you go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, sign up for the BEB Lifestyle newsletter. Every show note, all the show notes come out every Monday with the newsletter. So our shows drop every Monday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for all you new listeners. Every Monday, you got new heat from Black Entrepreneur Blueprint and Jay Jones. So 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday morning. So if you're still an employee, you can get down on your way to work. If you're driving into work, start listening to the podcast and hopefully make that transition from employee to entrepreneur. Every Monday, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The actual newsletter comes out twice a week, Monday morning at 9 a.m. and Thursday morning at 9 a.m. So if you want today's show notes, make sure you sign up for the newsletter. And every newsletter has the show notes in for the latest episode. Now, before we close on out, family, I'm going to say what I always say each and every week. We get more and more downloads, and that's because of you guys, the BEB family. I couldn't do this without you. Please continue to spread the word about the podcast, the blog, and the movement. It's about building an economic power base in the worldwide Black economy, not just here in the States, not just here in Canada, not just in the motherland. It's all over. It's amazing to me, guys, that the show was downloaded in hundreds of countries I ain't never heard of, to be honest with you. And it's really amazing that it's grown this far. So in terms of downloads, we're rocking and we get more and more downloads each and every week. And it's all because of you, the BEB family. Please continue to spread the word. And I love you guys. And I'll see you same time next week. Peace.